welcome back. I'm Josh from the Wine Tastings Guide. I've got another quick wine tasting for you. This is a little bit off the beaten path in terms of a lot of the wines that you may see and know about. This is from the Jura region of France, which a lot of people don't even know exists or know anything about. They really haven't been popular wines for a very long time, although they make some stellar wines. And some of the most traditional wines they're a little bit off the beaten path, not just in name and in recognition, but also in terms of their styles are a little different than your typical table wines that you may be used to. Their most famous wines from that region are what are called vin jaune, which are or yellow wine, which are aged. They're made from the grape called Sauvignon. That they're aged in barrels that are not topped up. So as they evaporate over years, the level of wine goes down, and it develops this similar to the floor in sherry, this veil or sous-voile of a mold basically that grows on the top of the wine, and it kind of protects it and gives it a particular character, but it also allows the wine to gently oxidize over time, similar to what you see with certain styles of sherry wine. So they do have some similarities to sherry, but those vin jaune, or from the appellation Chateau Chalon is the most famous area for those are aged 6.5 years or so in barrel, at least in barrel, under that veil of mold. This wine, which is from one of the greatest producers, Macle, who also makes those vin jaune wines, is also made from mostly Sauvignon, but also some Chardonnay blended in there as well. And it's not aged as long. I don't know exactly. I think it's a couple years at season oak. That it also develops some of that oxidative style, but not as over the top as the vin jaunes do. So it's got a little bit of that Jura character, but not quite as intensely. Now these, in addition to having that kind of that sherry-like aroma and flavor to them, they have some very unique characteristics of their own that are very Jura, that don't seem or taste like sherry. This, by the way, it's called the Cotes du Jura. Again, that is by Domaine Macle. So it's from vines in the Jura. The 2004, I believe, was about 60% Sauvignon, which is that Jura grape, and then about the remainder 40% Chardonnay, which, as you know, is famous in other regions and again is the main white grape for white Burgundy. This is the 2004, which I had when I was very young and I loved, and I haven't had a bottle in a few years, so I'm curious to see. You can see it has this almost oxidized looking sherry kind of color to it, a little orange. In the nose, it's got this nuttiness to it, similar to what you might find in a dry sherry. But it also has this, I find in these, this almost umami flavor to it that you wouldn't necessarily expect in a white wine. It's almost like a chicken bouillon and celery seed kind of aroma that is really enticing. It just, in addition, the fruit really isn't the focus here. It's more, there is fruit there and there's body to it, but you get those nutty flavors. You get the almost, again, umami like chicken bouillon kind of really savory, heady aroma that's really beautiful and interesting. I'm gonna taste it. These, like a good white Burgundy or like a dry sherry, like a Fino or Manzanilla, it's got a nice crisp acidity. This almost has a little bit of a lemony kind of zing to the acidity, but also some nice minerality. The fruit is there again, and the body is medium to full bodied. It's pretty, makes a significant impression on the palate. But again, it's got some of those other nutty things, and those are coming out more because of the age. At about 12 years of age now from the vintage, it's gaining some of that, but it could certainly go a lot longer. These wines, particularly the Sauvignons from this region, that are oxidatively raised, like the vin jaune and some of these Cotes du Jura, in a sense, it makes them almost impervious to age. They kind of like a Madeira. After that, they seem to live very long lives and evolve slowly over time. The vin jaunes are often said to not even be worth drinking in the first 15 to 20 years of their life, and that are meant to be drunk very young. And I found that these wines as well. I think it's in a nice spot now. It's delicious, but this will only continue to get better for many years and hold on for probably another few decades. That's it. very fascinating wine, kind of something you may not see every day, but I encourage you to check out if you can find it. Cheers, until next time.